Welcome back to the Moonchild Podcast. I'm your host, Elijah KB, and today's topic is going to be the importance of setting boundaries. Okay? The importance of setting boundaries. So, first of all, let's look at a life without setting boundaries, right? So living a life without setting boundaries, you're subject to live a life of being disrespected constantly, okay? Spreading yourself thin, okay, and never having enough energy left over for yourself, okay. And for those who are struggling with boundaries, have a hard time setting them, you know these things to be true. Whether you like them to be true or not, you know these things to be true, okay. So a lot of people who are struggling with setting boundaries tend to be either people pleasers or empaths. And in a lot of situations, a lot of scenarios, they're one and the same. Okay. They are a people pleaser because they are an empath. They were kind of like pushed over to that side, maybe through something that happened within their upbringing, maybe having to maybe feeling like they had to please a parent in order to get some sort of acceptance, love, nurturing, whatever it is, right? They may have early on started to associate love and, acceptance with pleasing whoever they are trying to be loved by, right? So I have a whole episode about people pleasing and ways to stop it. You know what I mean? You can go check that out for yourself. It's on the channel here on the podcast. But so yeah, a lot of people struggle with this. And like I said, a lot of people fall into that category of people pleasing or being an empath, right? But nevertheless, when it comes to setting boundaries, this is how you make room for yourself. You understand? People are not going to make room for you. You have to make room for yourself. And so you have to speak up for yourself. You have to set your own boundaries. You have to say what you won't do, what you will do. You have to be stern about those things because that's what separates you from other people. It's not about saying yes all the time to please others in order to, get in good with them or stay on their good side. Sometimes it's okay to ruffle feathers because it just is what it is. This is how I feel. This is how you feel. I'm not going to change my opinion to make you or change what I'm saying out loud for you in order for you to feel comfortable because this is just what it is. You understand? Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to stand in that tension. You understand? It's no issue with you being different or having a difference of an opinion. Okay. This is very important in order for you to keep your life in some sort of order. All right. It has to be clear boundaries with certain things. So I'm not saying for you to say no to every single thing and, try to do it on purpose and things like that. I'm more so talking about the things that you don't agree with, but you would go along with for the sake of other people. You understand? So if you don't feel like doing those things that day, then say fucking no. Like don't go with it because they might be upset or, you don't think it's fair or for them or like whatever. Like if you know how you feel about something and that's what you want to go with or that, yes is your answer. Even if you feel like you're supposed to say no because you're used to going with the flow, or if no is your answer, even though you feel like you're supposed to say yes because you're used to going with the flow, I'm urging you to stick with your original answer, how you actually feel. You understand? This sounds and feels unnatural at first, but this is perfect. You understand? It's something new, so it doesn't feel as natural, but nothing feels as natural when you're first doing it, right? anything you had to learn how to do, it felt unnatural. It felt like you weren't supposed to do it. It felt like, maybe you should go back or, revert back to your old ways, or revert back to not doing this activity or whatever at all. Right. So these feelings are normal, but I urge you to stick with it. I urge you to practice boundaries. Okay. This is going to be a game changer for you, and you will start to, get the respect that you're supposed to get, and start to attract the type of people who are on that same frequency, right? People who respect your boundaries. Okay. When you first start setting these boundaries, you might ruffle all the feathers of the people that you've been pretending for the entire time. Right. So, when you start to live in your true self, and you start to live the way that you actually want to live, and what makes you more comfortable, this is going to make people that's been used to you going with the flow uncomfortable. Okay. So this is normal. When you start to lose friends and lose family members and things like that due to you setting your boundaries, this is normal. This is also a good thing, because this is clearing out your space for the new people that are a vibrational match to you, to your new frequency, to come in. You're clearing space for the new people to come in, and this is going to be a game changer for you. Okay. So, be clear about your boundaries. Don't be afraid to set them. And even if you are afraid to set them, still go through with it, and still be brave enough to try something new. You understand? Especially if it's going to change your life for the better, and it's going to change your life for good. You understand? These are things that are very important. All right. This is very important to understand. Nobody's going to ever do it for you. If people have been treating you like shit, they're not going to stop treating you like shit unless you do this, unless you start to set your boundaries, stand up for yourself, speak up for yourself, say no to them when it's time to say yes to yourself. Do things like this in order to be clear cut about what type of experience you look to live, or you're trying to live here in this society, or in your human experience. All right. We don't want to be so spiritual to the point where we just blend in with everybody else, and it makes our experience just really confusing and painful and headache. You understand? It's a better way. Life doesn't supposed to feel like that all the time. Right. So if you find yourself, going with the flow more times than not, you understand, it's probably going to be an issue. And if you're watching this in hopes to get some information to improve your life in this area, then it's already an issue. Right. So yeah, this is what I had to say to y'all tonight, man. Set your boundaries. Okay. It's okay to say no. Practice saying no. Like use a real life situation when it comes up, and just practice saying no. It might sound funny for you saying it. It might feel weird, like for you to say no when you usually would have just said, yeah, no, sure, yeah. Just to keep everything cool and not make your quote unquote friends mad. And I say quote unquote because a lot of times, like I said earlier, when you start setting these boundaries, a lot of your quote unquote friends are going to show their hand and show that they never were your friends. They were just using you for convenience. Understand? And when you start to set these boundaries, they'll have to show by default, by knee-jerk reaction, where they really stand with you. You understand? They may try to manipulate you even further and make you try and make you feel bad for not doing something that they want you to do, or giving you some sort of sob story in order to try and manipulate your emotions to do what they want you to do. Now, when you lose these people, of course, it might be painful at first. It might be a shock at first. It might be confusing at first. But I want you to, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done and you're done dealing with your emotions and going through everything and processing everything, I want you to remember that this is nothing but a blessing. Okay? It's nothing but a blessing. You were supposed to lose those people. All right? They were not good for you. They were using you. Right? Because anytime you set a boundary and you said something like you said no to them, which in turn means yes to you for whatever you needed, whatever part of your energy you needed, whatever part of yourself you needed that day, and they got upset with you, maybe bad mouthed you, or, didn't want to fuck with you no more. Obviously, these are the people to lose. These are the people to let go. You understand? Because anybody who actually loves or values you would actually encourage you to do more things for yourself, to make sure you're all right before they try and take anything from you. Right? That's common sense, right? But yet we put up with the people who are completely selfish and only wanting, us to do whatever they want us to do for them, and the only thing they give us back is maybe a few kind words to help manipulate you and prep you for the next time they need to use you, right? Like, oh, you a real nigga, man. Like, oh, you my best friend. Like, nobody else ever does things like this for me, or, all that shit, right? To ensure in your mind, that you should do it the next time as well for them. Okay, so set the boundaries, cut out the bullshitters, you understand, and live a better version of your life this year, okay? So that's all I got for y'all tonight. This has been the Moonchild Podcast with the Moonchild, his motherfucking self, Elijah KB. Thank y'all. I appreciate it. For those interested in spiritual advice, I now have a page where you can sign up for a one-on-one hour session with myself. The link will be in the description. And for any questions and topics for the podcast, feel free to email them to me.